Good morning from Cape Town. Just done the last run before the Great World Race starts, so the preparation is done. So today will be the last in the series before we actually start the Great World Race, and today I'll talk about the immune health, digestive health, supplementation, recovery, sleep hacking, all those other things that are really important when you're trying to undertake something like the Great World Race.
If you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button below to be the first to know about new videos and free premium content.
Hello and welcome back to my lab here in Southern California. It is actually a week after the Great World Race. I planned on recording this video the day before, but everything kind of got shifted around quite a bit for that time, so it's afterwards. But in hindsight, we get to talk about all the hacks we did to help make the race go really, really well, and if they actually worked. So we actually now know whether they worked or didn't work. So in case you don't know what happened, check this out.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm so happy! I did it!
So we went into the Great World Race with 3 goals. Basically for Michelle to finish it, for David to win it again, and for me as a coach to learn about all these ideas we had, all these theories, see if any of them worked in practice and if they actually made a difference. What I'm thrilled to report is that we had such a successful trip, and many things worked really, really well. Michelle summed it up when she said to me, look, I've had no blisters, no cramps, no lack of energy, she slept well, she didn't get sick, no loss of toenails. I mean, literally everything went really perfectly to plan, and she did. She conquered the Great World Race. For me as a coach, I really wanted to see if all these ideas and theories I'd had would actually work. And so many of them really panned out. I mean, I spent about 3 months being obsessive about cracking the code to go to a new level when doing something like this. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. In previous videos, we've talked about all the training, we've talked about the food and the fuel. Well, this is everything else that was required to conquer the Great World Race. And any massive event that you're going to do, whether it's an Ironman, a marathon, an ultra, any endurance event that you're going to focus on, this will help you be a better athlete and have more success. So there are 7 specific areas that I'm going to cover in this video that can help you become a better endurance athlete wherever you're traveling to race. First thing, sleep. Next, we've got digestive health, immune health, recovery, racing in the heat, racing in the cold, and just the stress of traveling. So let's start with the big one, and that's sleep. And this was the one I was personally most worried about. I struggle with sleep anywhere. So I need a black room, complete silence, nice cool temperature, comfortable pillow. Everything has to be right for me to get a great night's sleep. So the idea of recovering on a jet at 36,000 feet and being able to sleep well was something I was dreading, so I really looked into this. And I have to say, a lot of the things we did were really, really helpful. I still didn't get a great amount of sleep simply because actually the jets we were on, even though it was a full, beautiful private charter jet, the beds weren't quite lay flat. So I'm a side sleeper, I like to sleep on my side, and I couldn't really get into that position much. So it ended up being quite funny for me in that I had to actually take a sofa at the back of the plane, tear it apart to make myself a flat bed and try and get some sleep on that. But it took several days of being up at 36,000 feet to even sort of work that one out. So I would say sleep for me on this trip was the biggest problem, even with all the things we put in place to make it work. So these are some of the things that we did that actually did help everybody else, apart from me, get a good night's sleep. So there are some obvious things: the blackout eye mask, the wax earplugs, the noise-cancelling headphones. They make a big difference. Now, one of the things we did was also wear those blue light blocking glasses for the early part of the evening and through dinner to sort of take down the sort of body into a calm state. And then I also made a recording of a yoga nidra meditation, which is kind of a body scanning meditation that really helps relax you and really focus you towards sleep. And at the end of that, I put some 2 to 4 hertz delta waves that really help keep you in that sort of sleep state. I found that I was able to get to sleep, but staying asleep because I couldn't stay on my side was the problem for me. So supplementation played a big part in the sort of sleep stack too. So I had a hard hitter in some temazepam sort of prescription to if I really needed it, and I did a few nights of that really got me at least like 3 or 4 hours sleep. But the basic stack we tried, and that worked for many people, was a combination of glycine with some magnesium glycinate and also some ashwagandha KSM66. That combination with also a little Benadryl really helps people get into sleep and stay asleep. Now, the Benadryl for someone like me is an added bonus because that's sort of obviously an allergy medicine. And we're traveling to so many different locations and climates. I wanted to make sure that allergies weren't going to be a problem for me at any point on the trip. So sort of getting that allergy cover into my system and running it all the way through the process helped me stay clear of any allergy problems whatsoever. Next was the immune health, and this is a big thing that we started testing many months in advance and something I've been working with my athletes for a long time. I think it's something you've got to build up in your system. You can't just sort of start to feel ill and then do this. This is something you have to have in your body all the time to give you protection. And it's a super simple stack. Basically, 2 grams of vitamin C per day, vitamin D with K1 and K2, some zinc lozenges, and L-lysine. Those 4 in combination seem to keep the immune system really strong. And I have to say, even with really, really bad sleep, my resting heart rate and HRV balance was very good throughout the whole trip and had literally 0 symptoms of any ill health whatsoever. Next, we have digestive health. This is a big problem for many people when they travel. And of course, when you sit on a plane and you're not moving around much, the digestive system tends to sort of slow down and things don't work quite so well. So number 1, we focus on eating simple food that we knew we tolerated and digested. Keeping things really basic and plain. Every meal was with digestive enzymes, just to help the process of breaking down. There was a huge focus on chewing more than normal, making sure you really, really chewed so that the pre-digestion was happening. And then also using things like chewing gum at other times, even when racing, to keep the saliva going, to keep the digestive process in full flow. There were 3 main supplements that we used on a daily basis to help with digestive health. The first one was a chewable probiotic, L-Reuteri. The next one was a combination of L-glutamine and turmeric in a drink mix, just to help keep the gut lining under good repair. And the last one was a sort of help me if you needed it. It's called Dr. Schultz's intestinal formula, and it's a much more mild stimulant to actually help sort of flush you out if you're getting a bit blocked up. Next up, we looked at recovery, and it's a key factor when you're traveling so much as we were doing, and also doing multiple races back to back, made even harder by the fact you're traveling on a jet at 36,000 feet. And also, what we didn't realize was the amount of time you'd be on your feet between races at airports and passport control. So there are the basics that we used every day, things like compression socks, Theraguns, Normatec compression boots, massage, balms like Hit Balm or Tiger Balm into sore achy areas. Big focus on hydration and carbs, of course, during the race, but also soon after the race and all the way through flying. So I was really on Michelle and David to focus on hydration all the time. And this is something also we did in the race. There'd be times when I would say, hey, you need to have that extra gel now, even if they knew they were going to finish the race, but more so to help recovery for the next event. So always keeping those carbs going in, that was going to be a key factor. Another thing we focused on was post-race nutrition and really getting the protein and carbohydrates in very, very quickly after coming across that finish line. We actually made it a thing where Michelle had pre-ordered a meal and it was there at the finish line for her every single day. Another thing we did was find any cold body of water and get into it whenever you could after the race. So Cape Town, we could do that. Antarctica, we couldn't do that. We didn't have time and it might have been a bit too cold to do that. Managed to do it in Perth, managed to do it in Portugal, managed to do it in Miami too. So getting in the cold water for that sort of nature's ice bath made a huge difference. My personal hack on the sort of recovery thing has been to try essential amino acids in recent times. And I seem to have found this blend of all 9 essential amino acids plus creatine that is really helping me recover very, very quickly. In fact, I planned on running sort of 5 miles a day over the course of the Great World Race, and I ran 65 miles in the week instead. So I was averaging 9, 10 miles most days. I felt amazing even on very little sleep. My legs were really, really strong, and I seemed to get fitter and fitter every day. So it's all 9 essential amino acids with about 10 grams of creatine in a blend. And I actually take that with my gut repair supplement, which has the L-glutamine and the turmeric in it at the same time. That's a daily formula for me, and I swear by it. And I think it's worth also saying that part of recovery when you're in a racing environment is switching off and not thinking about the environment you're in or the races you're doing. switching the mind into a totally different gear. So that's when books and TV shows or just conversation about anything other than running and racing was really, really important. I swear that another thing that really helps travel stress in general, inflammation, recovery, immune system stress, is omega-3 supplementation. And that's something I kind of double currently the estimated dose. I think I'm taking about 5 grams a day of those in. And I swear omega-3s make a big difference when you're looking to recover and reduce your travel stress. The Great World Race itself has so many moving elements, and the thing you have to be with the whole event is crazy flexible because nothing happens as you plan. Typical example, we're supposed to do day 1 in Antarctica, day 2 in Cape Town. That got flipped. So think about you've packed for that, all your luggage and all your clothes and everything, and it gets flipped on you, and it gets flipped on you hours before you're going to do it. So I think flexibility was one, but also packing and managing travel stress so that you could actually find what you needed at quick notice. Definitely we had different bags of things for every single day, labeled per location, so we knew exactly what we needed and could grab it very quickly. Something that many people ask me about is heat adaptation for races they're going to go and do. A lot of people really struggle in the heat, myself included, and it's something we really focused on for the Great World Race. Luckily, Michelle was living in Burbank in Los Angeles, so it's super hot there in the summer. So she got a lot of time outdoors in the heat anyway, in the middle of the day. We also focused on a bit of overdressing, using the sauna and steam to help. And we monitored all this using the core body temperature sensor. You'll see in the coming months that we also went to a heated yoga room with a treadmill, and we put Michelle under tests to see really how much fluid she lost and how much sodium she lost in the heat. And the results of that were mind-blowingly amazing for us. It really helped us gauge the fueling plan for the race. And you'll see exactly what we did in a future video. So when it came to actual race day, we employed several things to really help beat the heat. First one were the basics, the sort of light blocking sunglasses, really with side filters, the glacier glasses to block out all the extra light. Dressing in light clothing, using the Omnius headband, which is a cooling headband with that great technology in it, which really made a difference. What they did have at the race, which I thought was superb, were big tubs of iced water. And every time someone passed them, you would get all the way in your arms, right up to your shot as high as you could on your shoulders almost, to really chill the forearms and bring down core temperature. And it seemed to bring it down by at least 2 degrees, which was fantastic. Now, the cold was something else, and again, something we'd planned and trained for in advance by going into an ice locker early on in the training and testing all the clothing. And it's really lucky we did, because basically everything I had when I first went into that cold environment didn't work, and I had to change it for the actual Great World Race. And I have to say, it went superbly. Heated socks, the best thing ever. Heated socks, big, warmest possible gloves possible with these electronic hand warmers inside. That was amazing. And then multiple layers with lots of zippers so you could let heat in and out. Because when you're running in the cold, you still do get hot. And so the sweat rates were just as high. But what you've got to do is protect yourself from that wind chill factor. And at times, though, when it is slightly hotter and you're not as exposed to the wind, you've got to get the heat out of your body. So the layering was really important. As with the glasses, again, the glacier glasses to sort of block out all the extra light so you didn't get the snow blindness. I actually had 2 hats I wore at the same time, both from New Balance. My first one was one with these earmuffs on it, like a peak cap with earmuffs, which was great, and then a beanie over top of that. So I never struggled. Now, a lot of people would wear a face covering of some type. I think we found that was a personal preference. If it was blisteringly cold and the wind was hitting your face really hard, then you needed it. But a lot of the time, what it did was you'd be breathing through it and it would get wet with the condensation of your breath, and then it would freeze. So it was actually super uncomfortable having this in front of your face. My thought was to go without it, but if you're going to go without it, you've got to have lots of sunblock over your whole face and all inside your nostrils and really on your lips too, because that reflective sunlight is really prone to get you burnt. So in summary, I say we're back here now. It's a week since the race. It really was like living a life in 1 week. And on day 4, we're in Abu Dhabi. The idea of Cape Town and Antarctica felt so long ago. It was incredible to learn for myself how much I could do with 0 sleep, how much energy I could create to help other people, and also to run myself. I was amazed at that the limiters aren't as great as we think they are. I think every runner found that also getting past the halfway point gave them more motivation and more confidence they were going to finish this thing. It's a hugely mental race. There are people there who you wouldn't think could get through this. a lady, Jackie, with one leg, and she's got a record of doing 104 marathons in 104 days with one leg. So there's really no excuse. You should sign up and do the Great World Race next year, and perhaps I'll go back. I said I was never going to go back to Antarctica because it was brutal, and you'll hear more about that in another video. But I'm kind of tempted again now. Perhaps I'll go and do it next year. Who wants to come? Okay, if you've got any questions, please email me, cg@coachgareth.com. Leave anything you want to know in the comments down below as well. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep posting about this stuff. If there's anything you want to know that I do with my coaching, please just let me know.
If you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button below to be the first to know about new videos and free premium content.